Hello and welcome to the cloud video series powered by Saraswati repository. My name is Vishal.Majithia. In today's video I'm going to show you how to install and configure WordPress in Amazon LightSail. It's a AWS LightSail. AWS LightSail is an Amazon managed service. Means it's also called as software as a service. Means Amazon takes care of operating system updates, WordPress updates, security patches, and so on. So whatever the apps that you install on the LightSail, Amazon takes the care of operating system as well as the security patches of the application. So let's get started. Open up the browser. Let me open Chrome. So here I will be logging into my Amazon console. For that you need to create your account in Amazon with your credit card. I have my own account in Amazon, so I'll be logging with my account. So I have configured the multi-factor authentication for the security purpose. So we have now successfully logged into the Amazon console. So here these are the services. By clicking on the service button or the service drop down, you may find all the services and the Amazon. Let's click this. Click on the services. This is the LightSail, as you can see. Click on the LightSail. It's a AWS managed web service. It has a pre-built template for the applications. So here we will be creating instance by clicking on this click create. So it would ask us for the location, as AWS has its data center worldwide. So you can change the data center regions and availability zone as per your need and where your clients are there for that particular website or visitor, where your visitors are there. You can click it. Right now I'll be choosing Mumbai zone because I'm in India, that's why. So we'll be installing WordPress. We'll be using, you can use a Windows platform. Let me task on Windows platform. If you want to use any Windows servers, Linux platform, you can also choose only operating system, as well as you can also choose operating system with the applications. Here are the pre-built templates of the applications and the LightSail, that is WordPress, LAMP, that is Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, Node.js, Joomla, Magento for the e-commerce, Drupal, GitLab if you want to set up any GitLab or Nginx, and cPanel also if you want to create any cPanel in your Linux and you want to give it to any your customer, you can do that. Right now we will be focusing on installation of WordPress, so we'll be clicking on the WordPress and Linux and just scroll down. So just a minute. So WordPress certified by Bitnami and automatic. So Bitnami is a stack available in the WordPress, and it's a pre-packaged application or the templates which is installed in the AWS LightSail. So it will come with a Bitnami stack. So you can there is also default SSH key for logging into SSH or the console of the Linux server. You can by default it the AWS gives the default key. You can change the SSH key as per your need. So here are the pricing. Choose your instance plan per month. Memory depends on your, so first month is free and it's 3.5. after that they will charge you $3.5 monthly. And what does they give? And that 512 RAM, 1 CPU core, 20 GB SSD hard disk, and 512 GB data transfer monthly. So based on your need, you can choose your plan. There are multiple plans available, and this right now we'll be sticking to this free month plan, and we'll be assigning is at WordPress. You can give any name to your instance in order to, for your convenience or for your sake of convenience, and click on create instance. So now this instance is getting started. So they have assigned a dynamic IP address. When your systems or your instance get rebooted, it will change. So we don't want this kind of thing to be your IP address of your web server to be dynamic, because we want, if you want to point with your domain name, you have this IP address should be static. You can also find static IP for this instance. How you can do, I will show you after it gets started. And there is also IPv6 available for this particular instance if you are using any IPv6 version for the IP. And the data center location is, or the availability or the region zone is Mumbai, and zone availability is A. So now your WordPress instance is running. So when you copy this link and open up in the browser on the new tab, press enter. Let me refresh it. Load. What happened? First of all, let us assign a static IP for this. Click on WordPress. It will show you all the parameters for configuring this WordPress if you want to configure additional parameters for this. So there is a storage available, that's a 20 GB by default. It comes with your plan. You can create a new disk or add an additional disk for this if your disk is getting occupied. This metric will show you the CPU usage. Right now there is no any grabs available because just now we have started this. You can also create alarms for if your CPU's utilization is getting higher above your threshold limit that you have set. And the networking parameters for this instance. So they have assigned us dynamic IP. You can create a static IP by clicking on this. That we'll be doing right now. But first of all, let us understand the firewall. IPv4 firewall, by default they have allowed 22 port for the SSH of the Linux server, and port 80 and 443 for the web services. And they have also by default enabled the IPv6 networking. If you want to disable, you can do as per your choices. And also in the IPv6 firewall, they have allowed a port 22 from any IP, 80 and 443 for the any IP. You can also configure the load balancing service and the CD and the content delivery networks in your for this particular instance. That will do in my upcoming sessions. So another is a snapshot. You can create a snapshot or take the backup of that particular instance at a particular time. So in case if any configuration or implementation goes wrong in future, you can roll back to that snapshot. You can also assign the automatic snapshot. Right now it's disabled in my let it be disabled because I want to show the installation and configuration. You can tag any keys and tagging histories, whatever. Right now we have created the instance and it's time, it is showing this timestamp. You can delete it by clicking on the delete instance. It will delete this instance. So for now, we'll be assigning the static IP. For that, you need to go to the networking tab, click on the create static IP. So static IP, let us name it as a WordPress static IP. So no spaces are allowed for this, and let us create the hyphen for this because they are allowing the hyphens. WordPress static IP. The name of the instance is WordPress, and name of the static IP is WordPress static IP. Fine. So and create. Click on create. So they have assigned a public static IP, that is 65.2.84.37. So let us paste on the new tab in the browser. So as you can see, our WordPress has been loaded. So we have successfully installed. Let us go to the home. My WordPress is running, and it's running. So now we will be configuring this WordPress, but for this we need to go to the administration panel or the console of the WordPress for that. So there are a few steps to go to the console of the panel and the WordPress. So there for getting into the console, before getting into the console, let us point this IP address with our domain name. So I have my domain domain purchased from the hostinger. Let me log into my hostinger control panel. The vishal.majithia.tech is my domain. It's available. I have just purchased it for testing purpose and for manipulations of and for the demonstration. So click on manage. So this option may differ based on your hosting and based on your DNS provider from which you have purchased this. Click on the DNS and name servers. So these are the DNS records. So you can add, we want to add the A records, which will resolve our vishal.majithia.tech record to this, which will point it to this particular static IP that we have assigned to this our WordPress instance. You can point your domain based on your need and requirements. Right now we don't have any A record for this in my system, my DNS. So we will be pointing it to, this is our public static IP, and we will be pointing it to, let me on this, and click on add records. So now the DNS record created successfully. Now we have successfully added this record. As you can see from the drop down, it has been added to the list of the DNS records. A record, and then it's pointed to 65.2.84.37. So now what we will be doing, open up the new tab and type vishal.majithia.tech, press enter. So now it has been redirected to the blog or the WordPress instance that we have just now launched. So now we will be logging into the admin panel by typing /admin, and the WordPress, it comes with the /admin. By default, Bitnami stacks comes with a username as a user and for the WordPress application in the AWS LightSail, and the password, we don't know the password, right? For that, open up the Amazon LightSail and click on the SSH. You can, by clicking on this icon, you can directly move to the SSH of the Linux server or the WordPress where we have installed, or in the Amazon. So the password, how to retry the password for the WordPress is, the command is cat opt, sorry, the command is cat bitnami application password, and press enter. So this is the default password when it comes with the install. During the installation, you can change it after logging it. The default username is user, and paste the password. So as you can see, we have pasted the password that has been shown in the Bitnami terminal. This is the application password of the WordPress, and login. So we have successfully logged into the WordPress administration console. So it by default comes with this kind of plugins: Jetpack, which is a WordPress hosted plugin; all-in-one SEO, all-in-one WordPress AMP for the accelerated mobile pages for the responsiveness of your websites; AWS for WordPress; Google Analytics for crawling your website into and getting the analytics of your website from the Google Analytics. How many visitors are visiting your website from which different geographical location, for that you need a Google Analytics to be synced with. And Jetpack, which is a WordPress hosted service. You can get by logging into Jetpack, you can leverage the WordPress hosted service in your self-hosted WordPress and SMTP. So this is the dashboard of the WordPress. This is how we can install and configure WordPress in your Amazon LightSail. You can also change the default username password by clicking on the users and editing this user, and we can change the password. So let me also show you how to change the password for this. So new password, set new password. So you can create your own. Let it be generated. Let it be generated password. You can create your own password, but in my case, let it be generated, and update the profile. Let us copy this password in order to log in future. That's why. Nano password. Paste this password. Save this file, and cat password. This is the password of your WordPress, and let us change this password and update the profile. And after that, once you log out, your old password will not work. So now we have successfully logged out from the WordPress, and your old password. Let me try the old password, whether it is working or not. So in the terminal, I have open up paste the password. This is the old password. It is deny, means your password has been successfully updated for the WordPress app. So let us try the new password that we have updated. Click on this, copy this password. Copy and paste. This is the new password that we have just now updated. We'll now log in. So now we have successfully logged in with the new password. So this is how you can install and configure WordPress in AWS LightSail, which is an Amazon managed service. So I hope this was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for watching this video. Thanks.